again. This is the first time on 97.9 Unity Radio and the Coach Schumann YouTube channel. We are bringing you live election coverage only here on the Rebel Republic. And with me, the voice of reason. He's done. He will not pay his bills in joy. Frank Cristiano.
Where's all this come from in the last 2 days? Sunday.
And the man himself, he's going to have 1 million subscribers. He is going to be the next big influencer all over the country. His name is David Schumann. Good to see you, Coach. Yes. Anytime I get to see you, it's just a joyous experience. And I'm so happy that I got to be with you today.
Taking my vitamin C's.
Are you taking your vitamin C?
I'm not catching nothing from you.
You're
too close on the screen.
You think I'm sick?
I'll be sick in the head. I know that.
I'm not sick in the head. No.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not. And just so you know, Mike Lease is having me over to school me on the team. So I do the PA announcements.
Oh, good. I'll talk.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the AD tomorrow and get you in.
Yeah, get me in.
Yeah.
You told me I had the job.
I said I haven't confirmed that yet. I got to make sure she doesn't have anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, she won't.
Yeah.
There's nobody better than me.
What, you gonna do the PA for basketball?
For football. It's going to be the football playoff.
I'll be in the Dominican Republic.
Frank loves going on
On
vacations.
Thursday. Yeah.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah. No, I would never invite you.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't invited.
we'll be in the DR for a week. So as soon as this election is over, no matter what happens, I am leaving the country.
Are you allowed to come back?
I don't know.
We don't know at
I
this
have no
point.
idea. Who knows?
We don't know at this point.
Depends on who wins.
Depends
Right.
on who
Actually,
wins.
Frank, if Trump loses,
Yes.
your best bet is to go right on down to Mexico.
Yeah.
Go right
Walk
on
in.
up.
And walk back in.
Come back on caravan.
Get some money.
Give me money. They give me housing. They give me everything.
I agree.
Social Security. That's right.
I agree. You're Francisco.
Yes.
You're Francisco.
Francisco.
He's Francisco. I'm Esteban
I could do that.
and David.
So I walked in at 5 o'clock to the polling centers. I vote election day. I don't like to do pre-vote and all that crap. I want to vote election day. I want to get the feel. We brought my son. It's his first time voting. He's 18.
Oh, did he tell you or no?
Did he tell me what? Who he
We
voted for? He doesn't want to tell me. He doesn't want to tell me.
Still won't. He won't give it up.
He's influenced highly by his two cousins.
We have to bribe him.
who are very liberal. They're
We got
girls in Rochester. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what happened.
we got to bribe.
Nah, it doesn't matter. It's over.
It's all.
So I walked in and I went past the fireman directing traffic and he gave me a ticket. And I thought I was getting a ticket for parking. And he's like, no, we're doing a chicken and biscuits cook thing. You can get chicken and biscuits for $14. Go inside the beautiful store because they vote in a firehouse. So I go inside. I walk up. What's that?
No, go ahead.
No, I go inside and I walk up to the tables and they have, different people helping, trying to get you organized and get you your ballot and show you where to go. And I walked up to the gentleman at the counter saying, sir, I am here to save democracy.
Did you tell him that you're the voice of reason?
No, I didn't mention I was the voice of reason. I just told him I am here to save democracy. He laughed.
How old
And the
was
woman next to him just didn't look excited. What's that?
How old was he?
Oh, he's probably 60.
Oh,
My age. He goes to my age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know my vote saved democracy tonight.
It did.
It did.
Sue, did your vote save democracy tonight?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
That's good. So it's the only the one that we're not sure about.
Right. This is my vote will turn New York red.
I hope so.
I can feel it.
I hope so.
Although New Jersey seems to have gone down in a swell of blue right now with 0 precincts reporting. So we'll see what happens.
So it's at I got the live map going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got 13% in New Jersey.
And it's over.
Only
it's not declared yet. It's 13%, 53%, 13% in, 53% for Harris, 53.9% for Harris, 44.8 for Trump. So
right. I don't know. Fox News already called it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
they called it.
I think they already called
They
it.
called the election already
For
No,
Jersey.
they called New Jersey.
Jersey. Okay.
New
Yeah,
York
oh,
is
Yes,
on the
they did.
line.
They did, Steve. They called it for Jill Stein.
Well,
Maryland already called it blue.
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
they did.
0%. So I don't,
Right.
I don't know how they know.
Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Connecticut's blue, Massachusetts,
New
blue.
Hampshire.
Well, it's like when you get older, you just
New
have when
Hampshire's not yet called.
no, New Hampshire's not called.
Oh, I thought
Vermont's done.
Oh.
So it's like when you get older, you know, and it gets cold and you feel it in your bones. You know that a storm is coming because you have arthritis. That's how That's how they're working on Massachusetts and Connecticut and Maryland. Just give it to them. We feel it.
Yeah, I agree. They should just get it just for the heck of it. You know, live free and die.
Georgia, most important race, one of the most important races.
Yeah.
Georgia and Pennsylvania, right?
47% in.
Oh wow.
55.1% for Trump, 44.3% for Harris.
And is Fulton County in right now as far as the?
No, I think they're usually the last, so that's the killer.
That's going to be the swing. Yep.
No, they said that voting hours have been extended. Actually,
they did extend it.
Yeah, they had a bomb threat, right?
That's in that area.
They said they had a couple Russian bomb threats.
Where?
Are you
in Georgia?
serious?
Yeah. So they're going to extend the voting a little later in Georgia. That's why they're extending it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Legit bomb threats?
They stopped the voting, pulled everyone out, and did a sweep of the premises that were threatened. I think there's two of them. And they did that because they felt, they wanted the safety of the people, obviously, but then they realized through investigative processes, who knows? I mean, it is Russia. It was a couple of Russian bots or agents or whoever calling in bomb threats.
So if I get a burner phone and call in a bomb threat to Pennsylvania,
yes,
will that work?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
You'll be in jail forever. So
right.
We'll see you soon.
I'll get caught though.
Live from prison.
Oh,
it's Rebel Republic.
I didn't know I'd get
caught. 97.9.
97.9.
I didn't know I'd get caught.
Up the soap. Don't pick it up.
When life gives you lemons, don't bend over in the shower.
I thought I wouldn't get caught.
What's
Steve,
I think I'd be a good
chaps. Is that what I see? Chaps.
Chaps.
I would be a great criminal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you would.
I got ideas.
Oh yeah, you might end up being like yeah. I've seen enough of these movies. I have an idea what role you might have in the prison. You know what a great movie? Did you ever see this has zero to do with the election. Do you ever see this movie called Blood In, Blood Out?
Mm-mm.
It's from I want to say mid-90s, maybe late 90s. Mid-90s. And who was in it? The guy who played Ricky Valens was in it.
I know who he is.
But basically, it's about a group of guys that grew up in the barrio and Latinos in LA. I think I want to say East LA, but they grew up as kids together.
Yeah, this looks good.
They all go different paths, so it was it's interesting. But
Benjamin Bratt, I like him. He's in
Benjamin Bratt. That's right. Benjamin Bratt, great movie, dude. If you want to see what craziness can happen in prison life, and the guys go their different ways. Like one of them goes to prison, and how people are influenced by different things within their life. Like the guy who becomes the most dangerous prisoner is a guy who's actually half. They call them Blanco. I think he's half white, half Latino, and they call him Blanco. Yeah, because he's white, and he was the nicer kid growing up, but he used to get teased because he was he was half white.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was the most troublesome guy when he was young ends up straightening himself out and becomes a police officer. So it's they're all different paths. It's a great movie.
Steve,
great movie.
This sounds like Steve would fit right in. He would be perfect.
The reason why I
In
thought of
prison
Steve is when the guy they call him Blanco goes to prison, he's half Latino, half white. You know what I mean? And so when he goes in there, the Latinos don't want to take him into their gang in the prison. They don't want him to be a part of it. But he was part of a gang on the outside. But they don't want him to be a part of it because he's white, right?
So I can't make friends, is what you're saying.
Well, the Aryan Nation tries to recruit him.
Now I'm going into the Aryan Nation.
Well, the
Wow.
Aryan Nation guy, the guy who runs the Aryan Nation is like this big guy.
Oh.
You know, it's,
Well, you got to stick with your people, I guess. The whites.
so what happens is he ends up without giving it away. Basically, the fact that he's half white works in his favor when he's on the Latino side because in the gang battles, he actually is able to kind of work with all the different groups, but it also makes him super powerful, super dangerous because of it. Like it's very interesting because he can play like all the different sides necessary.
What was his?
Very interesting movie. But I mean, but it's not just about that. It's about the guy on the outside who's a cop. You know,
That's what I was going to say. Did they say what his job was on the outside before he turned bad?
Well, he was a gang member. He was a gang member. He was
okay.
the nicer kid. The guy who was really the trouble teen was ends up becoming a police officer. They straighten him out, and it has nothing to do with election. But great movie.
Steve would be in the Teabag gang.
Well, teabagging. There's a lot of that going on in that movie.
Yeah,
Teabag?
Yeah.
That's part of the power issue.
I mean, I like a good rusty trombone, but not a teabag.
The Teabag gang.
No. Yeah, I don't want to get. I don't want to.
There he is. This guy looks like he'd fit right in. Let's get him over here.
I don't want to get teabagged.
Yeah, you'd be in a gang.
They
They would protect you.
My father was talking about something. Did something happen today with the New Hartford police?
I have no idea.
With
no
Hartford,
idea.
police?
No,
What
our town. My
What
father was talking
happened?
about it. He said it was awful.
So is it one of the cops?
Yes.
I don't know which one.
Yeah.
I don't know, something with pictures on his phone.
Yeah.
Oh, he had some minors.
But it was one of the cops for the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Calhoun.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
my dad talking about it. He was
His little child pornography on his phone.
very distraught.
I don't understand.
This has got nothing to do with nothing.
No.
Family or somebody's family?
Well, no. I mean, we got to protect our schools.
I don't know.
I don't know if Kamala's going to do that or
Vote
not.
red.
We're we're going to have bathrooms and anyone can go in them, and
I
I
just
don't think that's right.
Did you see Megyn Kelly?
Yeah.
yeah, get up there.
Trump, and she talked extensively about that part from a female side. Like, we don't want men becoming women and competing against female athletes. We don't want them in our bathrooms. We don't.
Right.
She went through a whole big thing on it. It's interesting, but I'm looking at. I have it pulled up on my side. The votes by state for each state last time, and then what's
Right.
going on now. So
What's compared to now, right?
So it's very interesting. I'm looking more at the swing states. I'm not. I wish I could care about what's happening in New Jersey, but I'm sure it's not. What they predicted is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a big party.
But in Georgia last time,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Biden, and that was one of the backbreakers.
Yes.
It was very close. It was 12,000 votes.
Correct.
So, or actually a little bit less.
11,000
Biden-
change.
Biden had 2.47 million.
Allegedly.
Trump had 2.46 million, allegedly. Right now, with 52% in, Trump has 1.53 million. Kamala has 1.23 million. So,
So that's why. Okay.
now I don't know what's left, but it's 52%. In the next 48%, she would have to carry like 60-something% of the vote to beat him.
Right.
That's why you were asking about Fulton
that's why I'm
County.
asking about Fulton County. That is the one county that is the impeding standard there for any kind of Republican victory, because it's a predominantly heavy inner city African American. I mean, bottom line, those things are Democratic keynotes, to vote blue.
But they have also stated that Pennsylvania is going to be the deciding factor.
Well, they're all part of it. You can still, it's hard to win without Pennsylvania, but you can win without Pennsylvania.
You can.
Absolutely. Okay. The problem is that I think right now, there's just not enough a percentage in.
So 8% in only in Pennsylvania. So it's really not. It's really
right. And that could be till tomorrow, Dave. You know what I mean? They're going to take their God-given time to count.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Virginia's interesting. You see this? So 38% in. Last time, I'll just read it because it's a pain in the ass for me to show it. But last time Virginia went. Virginia obviously went to Biden, but he had 2.41 million votes, and Trump only had 1.96 in Virginia.
Oh,
and
half a million votes. Yeah.
Right now, it looks like it's going to go down to the wire. He's up. Wow. He's got 903,000. She has. I'm not sure if you could see it on the screen if it shows them, and she has 889,000 with 38% in.
Yeah, that's bad for her.
Yeah, he's in good. Now, North Carolina is interesting. I think North Carolina he might have lost North Carolina.
I thought he carried it last time.
Barely won North Carolina.
Oh, he did. Okay. Hey, Smoot, I know you're on there. Start harvesting ballots in Baltimore for the Republicans. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a direct order. Please go harvest ballots. I'm going to go steal my grandma's.
Last time, I'm trying to see if there's any other battleground states. North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio. Ohio has 40% in.
Yeah.
Close. Very close.
Good. Okay.
40% in 1.199 to Trump. Harris 1.178, 50% to Trump, 49.2% to Harris. Last time, Trump won big. He won
in Ohio
2.15, and Biden was 2.67, and there's about 40%. There's still a long way to go.
But he should carry Ohio, right?
Well, that's what he's projected to.
Yeah.
Let's see, and the Michigan only has 5% in.
Yeah, we're still early.
We're still pretty early. Missouri's one he carried, I'm sure. Yeah, he carried that pretty easily.
Do this for me. Let's forget about what's happening right now.
Okay.
And let's envision Thursday. Right? Okay. Thursday. You have your winner by Wednesday.
You're going to be in the Bahamas, so what do you care?
He's going to Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. But what path will the country take depending on the outcome of this election? What path do you see
I think,
as far as a Harris victory or a Trump victory?
There'll be a revolt. I mean, I think
there will be.
No.
You think people will just harmoniously come together?
No, I don't think that at all. No, I think if you're a Republican, you'll be upset. You'll have your moments of anger that night.
Really?
You'll get up the next day and you'll go to work.
Oh, if the Democrats win,
right?
Yeah, of course.
I think if Donald Trump wins,
it's not personal though.
Right. If Donald Trump wins, it won't even be crying. You'll see some news articles of who's in college kids petting goats in a library or shit like that. But what you're going to see, what I think is now you're going to see the 4 years of resistance. Those liberals are going to get tighter. It's going to be like a force field around them. They're going to be an impenetrable force to try to mess up anything,
everything
and anything this administration is going to try to pass. That is why the presidency obviously is so important, but the Senate and the House races are things that are getting a little bit overlooked right now. I know they're showing them in the road.
Are there any big ones that are?
Well, the West Virginia senator, what's his name, who just retired. He was going to run for president too. What's his name? I can't even remember his name. But he ended up retiring, and so the seat was open, and now that just fell to, I think it was Jim Jeffries, who was the governor of West Virginia. Now he's the senator of West Virginia. He's a Republican. So now there's already one swing candidate, and there's a couple more for the Senate, and they can lock up the Senate and hold the House, even if it's a Democratic president. You're gonna have a stall. It's going to be a stalemate. There's not going to be anything accomplised, anyways.
Well, that's what is going to happen. Supposedly, the Senate is going to flip in the Republicans' favor. The one race in Wyoming, that's a big race, is going to go to the Republican. It looks like, well, that's projected. It should. So if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, first of all, you're going to stop. Democrats have threatened a filibuster to get rid of the filibuster. So
Right.
if that's the case, then all those kind of things will stop. It will force, if there's a Democrat in office, it will force them to either work with the Republicans or get nothing done.
Absolutely
nothing done.
Yep.
Because they don't have the courts either, right?
Nope.
And so, but if Trump wins, he's going to be able to push through his agenda. And actually, when he talks about making America great again or being able to bring America back, he legitimately will be able to have the opportunity to do some of these things, like the stuff with immigration,
Right.
being able to turn back some of these crazy things with although some of them are at the states, but not allows people to push things through federally with trans things and those kind of things. All those things will not be able to have a shot at going through. And then he'll be able to do things if he wants to with tariffs on foreign goods and be able to push manufacturing if need be here, fracking. From we could become oil independent again. Our oil prices should go down. There's a lot of different things that could go in our favor. Obviously, I really believe that foreign affairs wise, we would be in a phenomenal situation.
Much better situation.
Yeah, not just to solve some of these wars, right? But also, I think to eventually get peace in these areas too. So, like to end, because I think Trump understands. I think he doesn't want to be in unnecessary wars, and I think that he understands the foreign affairs landscape and what he would have to get done to either solve these issues and negotiate, or B, eliminate any of the main problems very quickly and swiftly, and then be able to restore order and be able to restore an opportunity for peace in a lot of these different areas. I saw a really interesting thing. I don't know if you saw, Frank, a famous, not famous, a big a guy who was like very well astute on Ukraine. He's a Harvard professor. I think he's like in the middle politically, but talked about the whole Ukraine Russia deal, and really felt that America had a huge part in pushing Russia over the edge with Ukraine. Meaning,
really,
yes, it was an interesting thing. It was the breaking up of the Soviet Union. Okay, Estonia, Latvia, those countries,
right?
Those becoming NATO countries. Originally,
You're surrounding Russia. Ukraine was the last straw for Russia.
Correct.
NATO is the architect of this. NATO welcoming in Ukraine into their fold would obviously at that point lock in Russia as far as having their entire Western front bordered by a NATO country. So, and it would certain things would be cut off, as far as
Just from having it
not
as a NATO
diplomatically.
country?
That is correct. Yeah. So, and so that was and by the U.S. backing that basically, and by not giving any kind of reason to maybe hold off on that move. Bottom line, that's what sort of sparked this whole retaliation by Russia to go into Ukraine. No, it's a totally valid point. You're right, Dave.
Yeah. Wow. I never
And
thought of
Trump,
it like that.
If you remember back, Trump round one spoke about he wasn't. Everyone got mad at him because he was saying people got to pay their fair share in NATO and all that kind of stuff. You remember that, right?
Yep.
So that was, I think, part of his ability to keep Putin at bay. That hey, we're not going to set up these missiles that are over here in these neighboring countries of yours. I'm trying to keep NATO at bay. And that was part of the negotiation to keep it. Once Biden got into power, it was back to, in Putin's mind, it was back to, okay, NATO and America backing us infringing on Russia's borders, whether it's a reality or not, right, is really not the issue. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
The issue is that Putin feels threatened, and it's no different than, to me, when Cuba, obviously in the Cuban Missile Crisis, when Russia had missiles pointed at America in Cuba, okay, they would almost escalate World War III because of it. So it's no different than that kind of a situation where there was a threat. So it's interesting because I think back to that time after watching that, and I was thinking, gee, when Trump was saying that the powers in NATO need to pay their fair share, it's like a negotiation strategy without saying it, without having to do a whole lot, saying to Putin, hey, listen, I'm going to make sure that everyone in NATO does what they're supposed to do. No one's going to continue to infringe on you. And now Biden gets in. It's no coincidence because we don't know the old ins and outs of all those things. The quick thing that people always like to say in argument side against Trump on the whole, when he was coming at NATO, quote unquote, was, he doesn't want to have our allies. But actually what he was trying to do, in my opinion, is trying to make sure he keeps peace in that area. And that's the area that was the rest of, Western Europe is not a dangerous area. Other than they have a migrant crisis, it's not a dangerous area as far as war anymore. No, there's nobody.
Dave, we as Americans and we as the world have overestimated Russia. Here's the thing: overestimated. Well, that's our enemy. We're afraid of them. Right. We're not afraid. We feel that's our rival. Now, granted, where China is more, but you're looking at Russia. Look at this. A 10-year war with Afghanistan, ground war, they could not win. They pulled out. Okay. A ground war in Ukraine, which theoretically the mighty Soviet bear should have run through Ukraine like a hot knife through butter.
And they
and they can't. They still can't. Okay. And they're actually in retreat in some areas. And they're being attacked on their sovereign land now by Ukrainian drones and Ukrainian planes. So I think we're and on the other hand, let's look at NATO. NATO is totally an inefficient organization.
Very
inefficient. They have no. It is not a
power.
They're not a fighting force. No. They will never be organized as a fighting force. Okay. The only time they're a fighting force is when a U.S. or an England would back them and actually bring in some people that know what to do in situations of combat. They're not a guarding force. Every time we send NATO troops somewhere to protect civilians or protect interests, world interests in some warring land, they do nothing. They can't fire on anyone. They can't organize. They can't arrest. They can't do anything. So bottom line, and that's where I think Putin overestimated NATO as well. Fine, surround me. What are you guys going to do? Right. I mean, granted, you have some U.S. missiles there and all that, but what are you really going to do? And also you have to realize the Soviet Army, Air Force, their entire military seems to be antiquated, outdated, non-maintained.
Yes.
I mean, if you're looking at what they're fighting with right now, some of these things
They're
are
archaic.
not they're archaic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
And they're using weaponry that really has not been advanced in X amount of years, throughout the Soviet Union. So now you have to take one step further. Their ballistic missile capabilities, they probably have missiles that have been sitting in them silos for 50 years and haven't been maintained. Now, I'm not saying let's take a shot and we're going to gamble. But what I'm saying is right now we're overestimating Russia. I think Russia is a wounded bear that is growling to try to keep everyone away from, basically annihilating them if they wanted to. Right? Yeah, they're cornered. Whereas China is the combative force, both economically and militarily, that you really have to look at. You have to be more worried about what would happen with a Taiwan situation. What would happen with I think that's the more imminent danger. And so when these people start crying Russia and they start talking Putin and this and that, yeah, he's a dictator. He's a former KGB officer. Yeah. He has executed his political opponents. Absolutely. Okay. But bottom line, there ain't much to him now except for some disinformation that the Russians are trying to do through our last 2 elections.
And,
really?
and North Korea.
North Korea is a blip. North Korea is a pimple on the ass of the world.
Really?
They're
not a threat at all.
Steve,
yeah.
Steve, they're starving.
Oh,
we thought Haitians weren't eating. The North Koreans don't eat.
Period.
I mean, literally tapeworm.
Oh,
basically, that's what it is. You see stories of North Korean people that have come across that demilitarized, the DMZ, from North and South Korea, and they've escaped. Okay, and then they tell you their stories of no medical facilities or treatment, starvation.
Yes.
Literally, the only ones that get to eat are the army.
Yes,
and they don't even eat well.
Yeah.
Right. So they're and 8 years ago when Trump won and Rocket Man was launching a Scud missile that would go 200 miles and then land in the ocean. You know what I mean? It was like a pop gun.
Yeah.
So there's no need to even look twice at that country. That's nothing.
They're a pimple.
Russia, I think, is on the downside of that. China is the one where you have to focus on now if you're looking at world dominance, world order, and someone who is an opponent
of
democracy in the United States. Absolutely.
Okay, so China's a significant threat.
Yeah, and Taiwan is under threat because Taiwan is a free republic but China lays claim to it,
right?
And it's an important trade country.
Yes,
from a trade standpoint, it's the only free bastion over in that area, and they're technology wise, they have tremendous technology. I think I can't remember what is made. I don't know if it's chips but they either make or produce a ton of it may be AI software and stuff, but they do a ton of technology there, and it's China wants it back. So that's the big thing.
The world politics is like a game of Monopoly. So listen.
Yeah.
What if game of risk? But the risk with no role. Let me tell you something. Okay, I would sit down. U.S. and China sit down, negotiate. We will give you Taiwan. We don't own it, but we will give you Taiwan if you give us Hong Kong. Give us Hong Kong back.
Yeah,
that's the bastard child of China. I mean, literally, it's a shining star one moment, and then all of a sudden it's a British territory the next, and it's kind of bastardized. They have casinos, they have their own gigs going on. You know what I mean? Hong Kong would be a great vacation spot for us Americans. We go there and hang out. Yeah. So we'll trade you toy making Taiwan. You give us casino gambling Hong Kong. Does that sound good?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know Sir Sully. He had a blast in Singapore.
Yeah, well, Singapore's not Hong Kong. But that's okay. That's another story.
Singapore's a free country.
That is correct.
I don't think they have any taxes either.
That's beautiful there too.
Dan had a lot of fun in Singapore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm just saying that world politics always seems to be played on that kind of a scale.
So there's the big 5 countries in control.
The bigwigs,
and they decided all.
It's 2 countries basically.
It's 2.
It's 2 countries. It's the U.S. and China that basically are going to dictate with money or with force as to how the world will revolve and rotate around.
China has that much power that they can dictate.
You know how much land China owns in the United States? I mean, literally, what they've bought.
How can they buy our land?
We don't. We think we put we haven't put a no buy tariff on Chinese people. They come in and they buy up land, and they're all secretly
they're Chinese nationals.
Yeah, they're Chinese nationals. They're overfunded, I should say, by the Chinese government in case they need more money. But they've gone in and they've bought a ton of American land, a ton of American buildings, American structures, in a lot of our major cities.
I did not know.
And our farmland. China's bought up.
They have a plan.
China has bought up, I think it's 2 or 3 of the major pork producing companies here in the United States.
Where goods are come in,
where hogs are slaughtered and then they take it and they send it overseas.
Oh, wow. Well, if that's true, then we should just take it back.
Doesn't work that way.
Well, it can if we're at war with them. You just kick them out.
You just to get a couple pigs back. You want to start World War III and annihilate the.
Well, if you said they're buying buildings in major cities,
correct.
They're buying ports.
Yeah, not ports.
This can't be allowed.
They're buying pork producing plants, not ports. Pork, like hog industry.
Pork. Okay, misunderstood.
Yeah.
Pork.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is that they have such a vested interest in our area here. We have a vested interest in protecting our intelligence. In other words, we're an idea. We're a country of ideas. We make nothing.
Yeah.
Everything is shipped out because labor costs so much here in this country. We can't afford it anymore. So we ship all the ideas out to somewhere else. The Chinese love our ideas, so they come in and they steal them.
Well,
they bring them back to China, and they duplicate them, they replicate them at a much cheaper price.
Right.
So those are the kind of
and sell them back
behind it. Well, I'd sell them back to you, or just sell it to the general public to outbid, whatever U.S. company would sell it at. So there's a lot of different ways to wage war that don't actually involve a military.
Right. Wow. But the chances of an actual war breaking out again,
zero,
anytime soon is zero.
I think it's zero. There's too much money involved.
There's no war that's really going to happen.
No.
There's always going to be
threats.
Israel and Palestine.
That's a different war. That's a religious war. That's not a war of money.
No, that's been going on for thousands of years.
That's a war. That's a war of land and religion.
Based in religion.
Yes.
I mean, there's other issues, but based in it. Yep. Michigan. It's interesting. I clicked on these maps. I love these interactive maps. I don't know what they mean or don't mean, but when I click on Georgia, the areas that aren't reported.
They were just showing Fulton County. I was trying to point to Frank.
Yeah, it's all blue, but
yeah, it was.
But there's areas that aren't reporting yet, or the rural areas, which you would guess would go to Trump. Pennsylvania, which right now is 13% reporting, 67% to Harris, but the areas that haven't reported look to be all the more rural areas, suburban or rural. You would think would go more towards. I'm guessing would go more towards Trump, but it's interesting because I'm looking at I'm trying to get a feel for like the blue states. And if there's any movement at all, meaning towards Trump in any of the blue states, which would make me think that he would have, as he gets to the states that are in the middle, like 50-50, he would have a better chance. But it looks like like New Jersey. New Jersey last time, he must not have been even remotely close. He wasn't. 800,000. Whereas right now it's only 100,000 difference.
Right.
33% reporting. So he's not going to win the state, right? But I wonder if he's doing better in some of these blue states, will that translate into the possibly winning these states that are, toss-ups, right? So looks like he's winning. It was only 26% reporting, but he's winning pretty big in North Carolina.
Yes, I see that.
He's winning Virginia still.
That would be good. That would be big.
Only 20,000 different. He's up 20,000 votes in Virginia.
Wow,
that's
small. Wow.
And what's the percentage? What's the percentage reported?
45%.
Oh, okay.
You don't know where the
Halifax. They show Halifax County or no?
Where is that located more?
It should be. Oh God, is it the Norfolk region?
Norfolk regions is almost all red, other than Norfolk area.
Norfolk. Okay, and that's it. Okay.
So-
Yep.
Well, I can't believe Pennsylvania. They're saying is 66% Harris.
But that's 13% of the vote.
It's early. Like Ohio originally was like something. Like
Okay.
that. So, but what's
So you think-
interesting when you look at the map, like obviously population is centered in like Virginia, basically in Northern Virginia, Richmond, and Norfolk. That's where the majority of the population is. The whole state is basically red, other than these small areas
Yeah.
that are blue.
Well, they gave him Florida. They said Florida for sure.
Well,
They've
that
already-
was a while ago. When does New York's poll close? Is it 9?
No, it was 8.
2 minutes.
8 o'clock?
Yeah, it
No,
was
2
8.
minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh, it was
2
it
minutes.
was 9?
9.
It's 9.
Oh.
Yeah. 2
I
minutes.
thought it was 9 in the city, but okay.
I mean, and then
Okay.
obviously you need Arizona. You need.
Yes.
He's going to win a lot.
Michigan.
And Michigan only has 8%
Yeah.
reporting. And that's
Wow, New York's 28. I didn't know we had that many electoral votes.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, high population.
By the way, it looks they had
Sure.
the 10 poorest states in the country. Do you know that New York was listed as like 8 or 9?
Poor state?
Poorest, yes. Poorest
Wow.
people. Yeah,
That doesn't surprise me.
I was
Really?
shocked by that.
That is shocking. I can't believe that.
Like one was like Louisiana, 2 was some of the
Yeah.
states
Yeah,
that-
Mississippi. Yeah.
Mississippi, New Mexico, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then I think it was 9 was Oklahoma, New York.
You're not surprised by that? I remember talking to you
Oh.
after the pandemic,
I
Yeah.
wonder if
and
that's-
you.
yeah.
No, I was just going to ask Frank. You had said that from 2020 to 2021, the business was down probably 25%.
Oh, easy.
That's significant.
Yeah, but that's a
But-
cause effect right there. That's not. We're talking poverty. Poverty
it doesn't-
stretches over a multitude of years when they add up data. So,
Right.
how New
But-
York ends up in that? I mean, you've got largest Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, New York City. I mean, the Long Island.
Frank,
There's no money in Long Island.
It doesn't
The-
make sense to me.
the girl I may or may not be seeing.
Oh.
We went to the hospital the other day. We went to Wynn Hospital, and Wynn Hospital was an absolute cesspool disaster. I have never seen anything like it. There were just bodies laying everywhere.
From what?
I think mostly drug addicts. There's just people sleeping. They had one doctor. It wasn't even a doctor. They had a PA on, and it took us 4 hours to get seen. I've never they built this hospital up to be the second coming and save Utica and provide all these jobs and bring in the top doctors, and it is a dump and a shit show.
Where was that?
It's a new hospital
downtown
in Utica.
My mother was there a few months back. It was
You
fine. I
were
mean,
okay with it?
I wasn't. The service was slow. You don't really see a doctor at all. That's
Right.
the one problem,
Yeah.
But I don't know. The place is brand new. It's clean. It's
It is.
organized. It looks good.
I don't think it's organized, but
I mean, organized as far as knowing where to go and where to put people.
Yes,
The bottom line,
yes.
they don't have enough service there as far as doctors and staff
you think they're
to
understaffed.
tell you what. Yeah, 'cause you know why? Everybody's looking at a computer screen.
Yeah.
I walked in there to
Yeah.
see my mother. Everybody's looking at, every time they're looking at a computer screen. What are you looking at? I don't know what I'm looking at. Well, where's the doctor? Doctor's not here. Doctor's not. When is the doctor coming? We don't know. He makes his rounds. When he gets off of this or that. Well, who's the next in charge? Well, it's the PA. Was the PA there? No, the physicist is not here right now. He's off. Who's the next one? Let's nurse. Get the nurse over
The
here.
charge
She's down the
nurse,
hall.
the charge
So it's like a who's who. What was that old baseball skit with who's on first?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Abbott and Costello. That's what it seems like when I went in.
Then
there.
why did they build the hospital if that's what they
build
it was gonna be-
hospitals. This is a blueprint plan around most large metropolitan cities.
But we're not.
They take but when you're trying to renovate your downtown area,
right.
the first thing you think of putting, if you can put it there, is a large hospital. and that way you're trying to spark traffic.
Yes.
You're trying to spark business coming in.
The
You're trying to
economy,
spark
yes.
living arrangements. Most of the doctors and nurses, they don't want to travel far and all that, so maybe they rent an apartment or maybe they buy a condo somewhere near in that downtown area. So there's they're trying to generate momentum with our downtown, which has been devastated after the 80s.
Right.
Right.
So, after the base closed.
All that,
and
right.
yeah.
But bottom line, is it happening yet? No, it's just because we lack when people do these plans, they forget about the most important thing. The one natural resource you lack to do any kind of
personnel
is people.
Yeah.
You need people. You need people to do this. Our county, Dave, our county's huge.
Oh,
We got Oneida County. We're smack dab in the center of New York State. It's a huge
Landmass-wise, you mean?
landmass. Landmass County is huge. 250,000 people in the entire population of that huge landmass. You know what I mean? And so down where you live, 250,000 people is like 6 blocks.
Well, Jersey's the most condensed state in the country, right?
I would love to live in the country.
No, you like the action, Dave.
No,
I can't
listen,
see you.
I don't mind. Like, you know, if I could have my ideal world, I would live away in a little rural, like nice house and like farm rural area, but be like in a place where I could get within 20 minutes to a downtown.
Sports or whatever.
It has
Yeah.
like a decent downtown.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could live in just like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie, great movie with Brad Pitt, where they live in Montana and they're away from everything. Like
Brokeback Mountain.
Dude, why is? By the way,
No. That's Heath Ledger.
question-
Sorry.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, like the Seinfeld episode says. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I do question sometimes your actual sexuality.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Okay.
Just because your
It makes you double think.
references to homosexuality.
Hey, you're on a single screen. I got to sit next to this freaking guy.
Oh my
You know,
God. He must
I
have Frank, does he have his hand on your leg?
Well,
Where's his other hand?
right now they're assumed on the table, but who
Listen.
knows in a little while.
Brokeback Mountain was a beautiful love story. That's all I'll say.
If you start feeling a tug, Frank, you know where it's coming from.
That's right.
So what
Not
Brad
any of your animals either.
what Brad Pitt thing was it? Movie was it?
Fight Club. Fight Club.
No, we said it was in Montana.
Oh, Montana Fight Club. Wasn't Montana Fight
Why did you get so mad when I said Brokeback Mountain? That's where it was. Brokeback Mountain was Montana, Wyoming.
Because everything
Same
goes
time.
back to Blumpkins
It had
and
nothing to do with that.
prison life, and then
He brought up
Brokeback Mountain.
Legends of the Fall.
Legend of the Fall.
Okay.
You used to go to the Ted's at gay bar in at Connecticut when you were at UConn.
That was not a gay
It's a gay bar. You just said that.
Listen,
No,
Frank, that's what I know.
the electric blue he was talking about.
All right, so Frank, so this is how you know everything you need to know about Mr. Crowley.
Basically.
He liked Ted's when I remember when. So obviously, I went to the same school that he went to, and there was the place across the street, which probably became the Civic Pub.
The pub, yeah.
Okay, originally it was called Foreplay, then it was called the Upper Deck, and then you could get in there if you were underage.
Oh wow! I didn't know it
oh,
went through that many changes.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. Some of the best times I ever had.
No, I love the pub. The pub was a blast.
When it became the Civic Pub, it came a little more
Metro.
Sounds upscale.
I don't know. I've never used the word upscale, but
No, it was Metro.
Let people in. So then obviously Huskies was the club, right? Yeah. And then there was Ted's. I admit, when you're young, you go, friends take you to each one, a different group of friends like this, on the football team. I mean, like different group of guys like this. I went to Ted's, and obviously a lot of guys in the football team like Ted's. I go to Ted's, and it was all dudes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm like, why do I want to be in this bar when I could go in this bar over here, Huskies,
right down the street, right?
Where there's sorority girls and all these, like, what? It never made sense to me. And I was never a big. I would go to Ted's maybe to get a drink, but and then move on. But and never makes Steve. It makes perfect sense. That's your favorite place.
No. I always went to Huskies.
Dave,
I always went.
You missed that. The whole that whole male thing at Ted's was a rally. It was a
it was around.
Steve Cully rally for Astroglide. See, that's the thing. Steve was basically
Astroglide.
Yeah, Astroglide. Yeah. So it was a big convention. They had it at Ted's. Steve was leading the convention, and
For
basically it was like,
Astroglide?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's where it all came about.
Okay. No, I went to Huskies all the
believes that
time.
Brokeback Mountain is a love story.
Brokeback Mountain is a beautiful love story, and I don't care what anyone
Okay,
says.
Oprah. All right, Oprah.
But I always went to Huskies, but I liked going to Ted's first. I didn't like being at Huskies because I'd sweat. Everyone would sweat.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dancing.
sure.
Yeah, I would go to Huskies usually around 12:30. I'd spend the last hour.
So you cruise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always went to Huskies.
Did you see that viral video of the female in the stands at the Denver Nugget game when the camera? You know how they have like the kiss cam and it turns on.
Oh yeah.
So they turned the camera on this, and she's middle aged. She's got to be in her 40s or whatever. And all of a sudden, and they cranked up the dance music and they put it on her. And they all start to wave in the beginning, like, "Yeah, this is great." All that. Then she starts going with the music, and then she starts going like this and like this. And then she's going like this.
Start sucking. She's sucking dick.
Yeah, she's going on the cam. I'll show it to you after. It is hilarious. Yeah, right. Yeah, so I see that you're an expert at that. And that's what I envisioned Steve doing at Ted's before he would go to Husky Land or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Well, when it gets crowded at Ted's, I guess he takes some skiing. You know what I mean? Just reaches below because they're all hanging out close.
Yeah. I never skiing. I'd never heard that term before.
Yeah, you know what skiing is?
No. Well, I know what the sport.
But it's basically a girl, working. Working.
Yeah.
Like, you got skiing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had that happen.
The poles.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you went to UConn, I'm sure there was
there's someone you and I know
that was willing to do that for you.
There was someone you and I know quite well who did that.
Hey, here's a shocker. Trump
did.
Just called Oklahoma for Trump. Can't believe it.
Well, that's good.
That's a shocker.
Yeah.
Alabama, 1% of the vote is in. They called it for Trump.
Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee.
How can they?
Mississippi? They didn't have to. They didn't have to vote in Mississippi. They just gave the state. Take it.
Well, he's up 178 to 113. So that's a pretty good lead.
Go to the polls. They're like, no,
don't even bother.
Dave, let me ask you a question. When did it start that they were not calling the election on election night? Like it would take days upon days after for it to get called. Because I remember
this goes back to
was it Bush
versus
Al Gore?
Al Gore. Yeah.
So that's when it started. Okay.
That was the first time I remember something like that. And I remember that going. Wasn't it like 2 weeks? Right? Like it
went forever. Yeah.
The other and
yes.
Lawsuit. Like when people are talking about like complaining how first when Hillary Clinton at first was gonna challenge it, and then when Trump was gonna challenge it, like. It drives me nuts when people are acting like this was something new. Like Al Gore challenged the election back in 2000. When he ran against
Bush.
Bush.
And they had to recount Florida, wasn't it? Florida.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's not anything new. It's funny how the Democrats spin that nonsense to make it like Trump was doing something that was. I mean, they did it with Al Gore.
They did.
Challenge, right. They did a recount. I think you're right. It was Florida.
They did. It was Florida. Yeah.
Listen, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager went up there on stage at the end of the night and goes, "All right, folks, everybody go home. We got to figure out what the fuck just happened."
Right.
Delay it a night.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. How is it possible that they're not able to figure it out on election night? Like what drags it out for days?
They don't count their mail-in votes.
Oh, okay.
The day of the election, which is a problem. No, I think or maybe not even until it closes. I don't remember.
And then they count everything.
They count everything. Yeah, so that's part of it. That's Pennsylvania-wise. That's why you're not going to know anything until if it comes down to Pennsylvania, you're not going to know anything until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't
Wow.
come down to Pennsylvania, then it's different. But if it comes down to Pennsylvania, Maine is being won by Trump, only 1% reporting.
Right.
Nothing else.
Really?
Georgia is 68% in.
What do we got?
It's 52.5% to Trump, 46.9 to Harris, 1.9
Oh, that's good.
1.928 million to 1.719 million. But
I'd like
Georgia-
to see a bigger lead.
yeah, Georgia's listen, Kamala. All they do in Georgia is in Fulton County is they wait to see how many votes they need at midnight.
And that's when they do the ballot harvesting.
Whatever quote unquote county hasn't reported all their votes,
Well,
there will
Virginia's
be
close,
that
too.
amount of votes dumped in and needed to be
Right.
right in there.
That's the track record. 100,000 ballots suddenly missing. Can't count on them. I can't count on them.
99% go to
Right.
Trump. How in Georgia does 99% go
Right.
to one person?
Wasn't it awesome? Remember in Michigan, he's up by I don't know 30,000 votes, 40,000 votes, and then 1 a.m. rolls around and like, oh my God, he just found 120,000 votes for Joe Biden.
Well, Pennsylvania was the same way. He was winning Pennsylvania big last time,
Right.
and then it seemed like overnight
That's why you
it
can't.
switched.
I
completely.
don't want to be that conspiracy theorist, but there's just something wrong.
In
There's-
Michigan, they walk Eminem and he walks in with 99% of the vote.
Eminem. We need a concert wherever we go.
Right. I have 50 cents with me.
Think about it. They've had who have they had?
Kamala.
Everybody: Bruce Springsteen, Eminem, Beyonce. Who else was on the John Legend?
Yep.
Oprah came in. Barack Obama came in. Bill Clinton. Why? Bill Clinton came in. I mean, they've brought in every powerful superstar.
They
Robert De
gotta
Niro
call
comes in.
They got to call in. the
Everyone
markers.
comes in. They're calling. Everybody's coming in. Who does Trump have?
Le'Veon Bell.
Hulk Hogan.
Kid Rock and some cats and dogs.
Hulk Hogan.
He's got nothing.
Le'Veon Bell and Antonio
Le'Veon Bell.
Brown.
Le'Veon Bell. Right.
Hulk Hogan.
Right. Mike Tyson.
Hogan.
I mean, yeah. Hogan. Listen.
that's all you need.
Yeah. Right.
50
So
that's
cent,
why he
he's
won
got
Florida.
50 cent.
What I'm saying is, this guy doesn't need anybody.
Yeah.
No,
He
no.
brings in people. He brings in people all by himself. He's very happy to have your endorsement. He's very happy to show that someone in the industry actually does
So you're saying
support him.
They're all
Rogan and
paid
Elon-
to
Joe
go.
Rogan and Elon Musk are worth
Right.
1%.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
No
Right.
doubt.
Exactly.
I
But
think
yeah.
those
but
were
bottom
huge.
line,
Those were
he-
huge ones.
he wasn't begging anybody for it. He wasn't there
no.
stroking it. Whereas do you think it's Kamala Harris on the phone going, "Hey, Beyonce, could you show up for a rally?" That's Barack Obama. That's the heads of the DNC.
Do they
That's
pay-
that's the powerhouse. They're setting the schedule up of who they want to come in to be able to attract people to come to these rallies. Because if not, who's going to a Kamala Harris rally?
Do they pay them to?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe they do.
No,
They had
no.
they brought in almost $2 billion for the campaign.
Their campaign, the money that the Democrats have is out of this world.
Right.
How much more is it than the Republicans?
It's not even close.
Not even close.
Not even
That-
close.
Billion more, maybe.
It could be.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's not even close. I don't
So
even know if
what-
the Democrats spend it all. To be honest, that's how much they have.
Well,
The machine-
how does that
Right.
happen?
Right.
Is it just because they fundraise
They
better?
may
or-
sprinkle it around to these local elections that they need to win. you
Right.
know?
Right.
That's
They
how
were
much
saying
money
that.
they have.
They were
Yeah.
saying that over the last week or two. They were taking and trying to help local elections because they said that at one point they pulled out of North Carolina
Yeah.
because they realized they couldn't win. And so they transferred their efforts to Virginia. So, they're even with money, there's failures that they cannot overcome. But
Correct.
bottom line, that machine had so much money to spew out
Jesus.
to create what they needed to create. You got to realize something. They have taken a candidate who had 0% in a primary.
Yes.
They have taken
Yes.
taken a candidate who had zero favorability with Barack Obama zero favorability with Nancy Pelosi. Anyone in the Democratic Party 6 months ago, you say you want Kamala Harris, they would have said you're out of your minds.
They would have
Yeah.
laughed.
Okay,
No, I
Right.
know that.
so now you take this person and you thrust her right away into the public light because you realize you can't have the 82-year-old guy who's shitting his pants as your face of your party. And what do you
Well,
have to? What do you have to do? You know, you have to do emergency. This is emergency surgery.
Yeah.
You've got to do emergency surgery
Yeah.
on Kamala Harris to repair her look.
You're calling in
Because
markers.
You're going to ask her now to say that she's in favor of fracking.
Yeah.
Right. Say that she's in favor of pipeline. Say that she's been a guardian of immigration all along,
and her values
working
haven't changed.
hard to protect the American people.
Yeah.
Saying that she's a champion of the middle class, as the middle class suffered through the worst inflation known. And I don't care. No one can tell me it's Trump's inflation because of COVID. Bullshit.
No.
Okay,
No.
bullshit.
No.
That stuff could have been tamed a long time before it got out of hand. And that all started with the Federal Reserve too. So bottom line, she inherited all these things that happened in that administration, but she doesn't want to lay claim to them. But funny to me, the president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States, and she's the swing vote on a lot of bills that went through the Senate to be
So-
able to get approved into law.
She's responsible.
And
for
she's responsible
quite a
for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She called it, and because she's part of the problem. She is part of the problem. When the Nazis were hunted down and they tried to get everyone that was involved in crime and war crimes in World War II, it wasn't just some of the Nazis. It was all of the Nazis.
bit. Absolutely.
Right? So you're part of the ship. You're part of it.
The Nuremberg thing.
But what I'm saying is now she's
The
the worst Nuremberg.
Wasn't it the Nuremberg?
Nuremberg trial.
trial.
The trial.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Nuremberg trial says. So
I was right. I made a
But-
good point.
they've taken the worst candidate ever. I think she's the worst candidate ever. I thought
No.
Al Gore's better.
John
Al
Kerry
Gore,
was pretty
Al
bad.
Gore, Al Gore fantasizing that he created the internet was a much better candidate than Kamala
Well,
Harris
in
right
the
now at
environment,
this time.
He cares about the environment.
Right. Oh, they all do. They all care about the environment. Right. And so,
I thought John Kerry was the worst.
but what I'm saying is that she's the worst candidate possible, especially at this point in time for this
right.
country.
Right.
And they have fluffed her up because they had no other choice.
Exactly.
Okay. But to fluff her up, they had to pull out all the stops. Right?
Yeah, they
had to-
called in all
they
the
had to-
markers,
they called
pulled it in.
they called
Yeah.
in every non-political marker that
They
you
had.
could call in.
Yeah.
Every non-political marker, every star that came on stage. Who the freak is voting the way Leonardo DiCaprio is voting?
Taylor
Who
Swift.
cares?
I'm
cares?
voting the way Taylor Swift
Right.
voting.
So
They-
so
they-
that's
look,
what I'm
they-
saying.
They brought out to try and get. I would find it insulting if it was me, but it's not me. They brought out Glorilla, who's like a girl rapper. Her name is Glorilla. She has songs that I've heard, just because
Her name is Glorilla.
yes, and she had her do a concert, and her basically it's very raunchy. It's rap music, okay, but they're trying to attract like female African American women to like vote for her, and to me it's like insulting that that's what they want to do to get like to vote for somebody. Like
They have to. So what policy
she's
what
attractive.
policy can they throw in front of women besides the abortion issue? If you're not Catholic, then I understand. But what policy can they throw in front of her that goes, hey man, you know what? This is going to be beneficial to the country. You just wait and see. And you look at those policies, and you're like, first of all, there's not many of them, and the ones that she's trying to put her hat on are terrible for this country. They're going to be terrible for this country. You've got a guy who's already run this country for 4 years. The only peeps I heard about it were the people whose asses hurt because they were offended by his speech.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bottom line, after that, I saw a well-oiled machine. We all had more money in our pockets. We all had cheaper goods. We all had cheaper fuel.
Stuff
right?
made in.
We made money in the stock market. Yeah, you're making money now in the stock market, but that's because it's made a huge rebound from COVID. But we were all making money in the stock market. The economy was great. Trade was great. The country was safe. There was no war. What else do you want? What else do you want? A third bathroom? All right.
Colin Fritchett, I agree with you. It's time to take this country back, and we're going to, one way or another. I am with you, Colin. I am with you, and I believe in you. Just so you know. And
MKBD said Trump is the GOAT.
well, he is the GOAT. I wanted to ask you on the radio on the right up here.
Who bet said Tupac?
Someone said he's alive again. I just saw him.
Well, he's been alive.
Alive!
He's been alive.
Oh.
On the right up here, they said that as soon as Kamala, her campaign started to turn to more mudslinging and negative and attacking Trump, she started to lose independent voters and Democrats when she went in that direction.
Well, when her numbers
Do
didn't
you
jump
think
except
that-
after the first week, and the first week was a big joy fest.
It was.
When her
Yeah.
numbers didn't jump anymore and they started to decline a little bit, she got pissed. So now it's time to start attacking.
Right. Right.
They you know, here's the thing. He's been attacked for 9 years. You think it's going to bother him at all right now if these people say anything? Who cares? The people don't care. We've had 9 years of listening to this shit. We've had 9 years of conspiracy theories that have been shot down, of Russia collusion that has been shot down, of lawsuits that have been shot down, of what else? Oh, the laptop. How about the laptop? That piece of evidence that could have brought in 2-3 weeks before the election could have made a total difference in people realizing that the Biden crime family does exist. That moniker is true. They are taking money from other countries to either use the president's vote or influence in changing things for the better of those countries. So bottom line, the American people are tired. We're tired.
It's already been called for Kamala.
What's that?
New York's been called.
Really? We couldn't do it, huh? We couldn't do it. That's terrible. That's terrible.
22% reporting, 68% for Kamala, and 31% for Trump.
That's horrible. Well, what
There's
are you
one
going
way
to do?
to go. It looks
What are you
like
going to do?
looks like New Hampshire's going to go to Kamala.
Yeah. There it is. They called it.
Maine doesn't have much reporting. Virginia is going to go down to the wire. Trump's up by 24,000 votes.
Kristen Gillibrand again. Oh,
Ugh.
she's our rep here. I mean, it's awful.
She always wins. She doesn't even do anything.
Nothing. No one sees her. I don't know.
No, but God,
New York is so.
it's crazy how New York
liberal.
is set up.
California and New York are just, and New Jersey.
New Jersey's bad. It's
those
crazy.
three
New Jersey used to be. I want to say at one time it was more Republican, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that was a long time ago. So,
Right. Horrible. Just horrible.
It is.
I don't get it. I just don't know. The numbers must be just so overwhelming. Granted, you've got Rochester and Buffalo and Syracuse. Those hubs are liberal hubs, but the numbers.
Obviously, New York City. I mean,
yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm just saying. The numbers must just be so overwhelming in Manhattan that vote blue just no matter what.
Last time, New York was won by Biden by he won by almost 2 million votes. Jeez. I mean, right now, that's why I was curious, but none of them are report. Like Jersey's 53% in. Okay.
Right.
Kamala is 53% to Trump, 44%, 1.27 million to 1.06 million.
Yeah.
And last time, it looks like Trump's going to do a lot better in Jersey this year than he did last time. Last time he lost by almost 800. He lost by 700,000 votes last time.
Wow.
It looks like this time that's not going to be the case. That's why I want. I'm speculating here. North Carolina's close. Is 50% in. He's winning by 70,000 votes. Georgia's 74% in. And they're finally closing the gap. It's
here it comes.
It's now down to 110,000, 120,000 votes difference.
Right.
If
How
Cruz
about
is
Te-
back.
how about in Texas? They just called the Senate race between Ted Cruz and Allred.
For Cruz?
Yeah, I'm not a Cruz fan.
I think Cruz is all right. I mean,
I think he's full of shit. But I'm not.
I'm not. No. I agree that he,
I just, it's a show. But I'm not. I always worried. I always thought, and I don't want it to flip. I'd like to keep control of the Senate, but I always thought that guy was on. He was always treading water, But there's got to be some angry people down in Texas.
Lion Ted.
It'll never go away. That will never go away.
I have to say, like the nicknames, like I can't forget them. Like there's no nickname.
No,
Look at Hillary.
Yep. It's great.
Lion Ted.
He knows, man. He knows. South Dakota calls it for Trump. There we go. 3 more electoral votes to the fold.
If Trump miraculously were to lose, would he put up a stink and try to sue everyone and claim fraud?
I don't think so.
It was stolen.
I don't think so.
You think he'd go quietly into the night?
I don't think it would be quiet, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to see what you saw January 6th, obviously. And they wouldn't let it happen anyways. I'm sure any kind of small group that organizes, they'll be dispersed very quickly. But I don't think you're going to see anything like that. I think you just, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we got enough Senate people in there to flip that, and hopefully we got enough House people in there to flip it, and let's move on and do some work. So I don't think you're going to see anything. If Trump wins, you'll see some bitching and moaning on that, but I don't think you're going to see anything that radical either. Because I think going into this election, the Democrats thought they were, in the bottom line, the underdog. Just by numbers and polls alone, and the amount of Republicans that early voted. I mean, I think they went in with a little defeatist attitude into this. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it's turning out, I mean, it looks a little bit closer than expected so far. I don't like the numbers of Pennsylvania, and I know that not a lot of the percentages in.
No.
What you will like is our consecutive viewers that we have today. Most of it coming from a YouTube decent steady flow, but most of it coming from the Coach Schumann Twitter page, which at one time was occupied by a group calling themselves
when it got hacked.
Yes,
right.
they call themselves. They changed the name. It was called what did they memes? Something memes. They the group called themselves. Until I got it back, I reached out to Elon Musk. I sent him a video. And he took care of it. But I literally did. I sent the video to Elon Musk. First, I sent him multiple messages. I sent his team at Twitter multiple messages. Really went almost nowhere for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I sent Elon Musk a video message. He obviously didn't read it, I'm sure. But one of his people must have read it.
Made his point. Yeah.
That night, I was back in action.
That's why I'm saying you're going to be the next big influencer. Nobody has your numbers. Nobody has your
numbers. Right now, we got 693 consecutive viewers.
That's ridiculous.
They call it live viewers.
Yeah.
Viewers.
And
we're over 700.
And
off. I'm going to keep going and just keep talking. See what I can get.
A marathon of political talk.
I'm going to go until 2 a.m.
Right. Just waiting for Pennsylvania.
Just sit there.
Because I talked to my.
And I'm still going to be trying to get more viewers.
Right.
I talked to my friend Tommy Collins, and he said that your audience on YouTube, the subscribers, your Facebook, your Instagram, and your Twitter, your numbers are incredible. Like it's higher than several influencers that get paid.
A lot. They get paid a lot.
Yeah. When he had his friend that works at that company I was telling you about, look, he just, that's what they did. They combine everything.
Is the next phase girls in tight bikinis or something?
No.
Girls in tight bikinis. Is that the next phase of the channel? Can we to up it? Let's go. You'll get tons of views for that.
Barstool it.
Barstool it. Yes. Yes.
Well, it's funny. Every once in a while, I'll post a short on like appreciate Livy Dunn or appreciate Angel Reese. You know what I mean?
Angel Reese, yes.
It's funny. My viewership, I like that. They'll, you get thousands of views, but like they don't seem to care. So like they didn't care as much as I thought. Like that was the Barstool way. And if you remember the beginning, yes, they reported on sports and all that stuff.
Right.
They tried, yeah.
Girl of the month, dude. The girl of the month, man, or the girl of the week, or whatever. I mean, I used to go there. I'd be like, all right, And, that was before you really could access everything you really wanted. You know what I mean? And there was no OnlyFans back then. Those kind of things. So people would like take these calendars. They basically took what used to get calendars when you go in the store. You get a calendar of a girl. Like when I was a teenager, that's like, you get a calendar.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit model edition.
My favorite was, Frank might appreciate this, Samantha Fox.
Oh yeah, back then that was
she
crazy.
From that movie Ridgemont High?
She's a singer.
Oh, okay.
She's a singer, but smoking hot for the 80s. I mean, that was yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. There was that.
That was Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe. Yeah, that's the one.
She was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great movies from the 80s. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is my favorite. Is when they get what's the great football? Forrest Whitaker plays the football player.
Yes.
And what was his name? It was like a president's name or
Roosevelt.
Coolidge.
Coolidge.
Coolidge is from The White Shadow.
I thought it was Roosevelt.
Maybe it was Roosevelt. Maybe it was Roosevelt.
I'm thinking.
What type of movie was it? Was it
when they smashed up his car?
Well, yeah. They set it up, right, and then he went after them, and he killed those guys. Oh my God, that was so great.
You know what you need to do? You could probably up subscription to huge numbers if you tie your channel to Steve's OnlyFans account.
My OnlyFans.
Yes. Yep. If you've
seen my OnlyFans?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know that was public knowledge.
You're on OnlyFans. All you got to do is look up Ravaging Steve 69, and there you are.
I ravage?
I don't know. That's just your name on
it. No, I would not. I would not ravage. I'm very.
Is that the
very
one with the picture of him in between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior?
Yes. Yeah. Instead of ravishing Rick Rude, it was ravishing Steve 69.
He's got the face. He's got face paint on.
Paint. He's got the biceps had those straps coming off of him. The
talons.
The talons coming off of right there. Yeah. Hogan had the yellow shirt on.
Or is it the picture that he has where he's in the middle of the jungle, where he's oiled up and he's just got like he's Tarzan.
Tarzan, that could be him too. Sure, those are all on OnlyFans. You can, for a small subscription fee, you can enjoy that package of highlights from Steve.
Come on, look at this. That's beautiful.
Look at that.
Isn't this beautiful?
That is masturbation material for you right there.
You think I go home and jerk off to this?
I definitely think you do. I think it's above. I think it's on your ceiling, right above your bed.
I am so proud of this.
You should be.
Robert McLean, I do not jerk off to your artwork. Yeah. Just so you know.
Yeah. There's a couple smudges on that I see right now.
He needs to know that. I don't want him to think that I mastered
the Ultimate Warrior's left eye has been rubbed out.
No. I would not do that to him.
Oh, yeah. What is that off color white on the painting? Off color.
No.
It's just it's a bone. They call it bone. It's not pure white.
I want to have this one done.
There's a piece of pepperoni too. Like, were you eating while?
Right there. One hand busy eating.
It was cake. It was cake.
Oh, it's cake. That's true. It was. It did. Birthday cake. My wife's birthday cake. He just went and picked the whole birthday cake. She gave you another piece tonight. Well, she gave you a piece that was probably sitting in the fridge for 3 weeks. She's trying to keep you away from the good stuff.
That's great. She put it right in the front, like big, right in the front, so you couldn't see in the back.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Is that bad that they called New Hampshire for her?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That doesn't matter.
because it's only 4.
That was basically predicted.
It's only 4.
Yeah, he's got.
So he's right there.
Right now, those tighter swing states are coming into play. The next hour and a half to 2 hours will be where
But when
you'll see some kind of direction.
when it says the numbers,
Yeah.
it's not 100% though, right?
No, they'll
It's with
always
the
call
majority.
it because they know which counties have already put in their
Right.
votes. They
Right,
always
okay.
and they know what counties are left.
Yes,
And they know the percentages of votes that have gone in the previous elections, and so they
So
know the
base
voter
it off of
roll,
that.
and they can make their decisions off of that. Yeah, it's not that hard once
And
you have
that's
all the
what we
information.
really don't know.
Right.
And have they been wrong, like really
No,
wrong before?
They've been, you know what?
I think maybe
the
Frank could correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe when Trump beat Hillary, they may have predicted some things incorrectly.
yeah.
I don't remember now. I can't remember.
I don't know if Florida went and no, Florida didn't go to Hillary. There was
he
a
got
state.
Florida.
There was a state
Florida
that
was
predicted
close,
Hillary.
I think.
Yeah, it was. Florida. There was a state that was either predicted to Hillary or and then they had to reverse it. I can't remember what it was. You're right. No, I think you're absolutely right. But right now, you're most of them are floating that 20-30% range. Or you got time. You just got to know what counties have not reported yet. You can kind of. That's why I worry when you need a 10-point lead in Georgia going into Fulton. You know what I mean? I mean you need a bigger lead than 1 point.
Right,
Going
exactly.
into that. So that's where that state of Georgia may swing. And then, listen, you got to realize there's a ton of colleges in Georgia, a ton of historically black universities, and they rallied. Yeah, they rallied the troops to vote there. I mean, God bless them. They know how to put organizing that together and get them out there to vote, and use the power of the campus and the power of just being a minority and voting for a minority. That's a big.
So
that's a big to do.
if the Democratic machine worked for the Republicans, then the Republicans would win in a landslide. Basically, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't doubt that. I think
Yeah.
Trump's campaign. I think his son's really smart. The last month of the campaign, basically, Vance and Trump were doing a lot of social media.
Yes,
A lot of the large podcasts.
yes.
The influencers that have millions of viewers. And really, I don't know if that was a touchable issue 6 months ago when they started the campaign. But right now, I think Barron influenced them a lot. That, hey, listen, Dad, there's no sense. Take a shot. There's tons of viewers out there that would love to hear from you, and maybe you can capture some of them. My thing is, like on a normal day, even like a day before or something, you're seeing an election campaign commercials, and you're seeing all this. And are you really going to change your mind? You got it made up.
I changed my mind. I think
You got it made up. You got most everyone had their mind made up for this election. They knew where they were
I can tell
going.
you this: the independent thing was interesting.
yeah.
I don't know exactly who she ended up voting for. Okay, but I had a great podcast with Maria, who was
I know who she voted for.
definitely was independent. Okay,
Yeah, she did.
and she
She
definitely
told me she had a great conversation with you about it.
I think I may have swayed her, and not because I was trying to sway her.
I know.
She
I
voted
know.
Jill Stein?
No.
No, she voted for
No.
Steve Cully _69.
9.
With
Yeah.
a picture of him in between.
Yeah.
Maria loves me. You understand that? Maria and I go way back.
No, I know that.
We go
So-
way
so-
back.
So I think what was interesting is we had a great discussion. And I
Yeah,
feel like
'cause she's
independent-
very smart.
She was very smart, very independent voter, right?
Yeah.
Issues that she believes are on one side, and then she has other issues that she believes she's on the other side. And,
But she's similar to both of you guys. She's fiscally conservative and socially liberal, I would
I
say.
think when it came down to it, she voted what was. If I think what she voted is
Yeah.
what I believe she said is, I think she voted in favor of her family, right?
Yeah,
What would help her family, right?
exactly. Yeah,
And less on the.
because
And I think a lot of Americans, I think when it comes down, and the only reason I bring it up is that I think when it comes right down to it, whoever they vote for, right? In the end, if you're independent, if you are thinking clearly, if you're independent, that means that neither side has really swayed you over these years, right?
Yeah.
and you're independent, and if you're thinking clearly, you're thinking about what's best for your family.
For your family.
And
That
then
has to
I
come first.
think that's what's going to give Trump a better chance in this election versus last one. The last one was during the pandemic, okay? And if people were still voting the same way as an independent, what's best for my family? There was a lot of obviously I voted for Trump. I believe he was the best guy to
Misinformation.
get us through. But
Yeah.
in that was the pandemic. That was a very, very difficult time for a lot of people for very, very different reasons.
Different reasons. Yeah.
Very, very different reasons. Do I believe there was corruption and all those things? Yes, I do. But and I do. I actually think that Trump probably won those things that happened late night. I probably, that was the time that you could sneak those in was during that pandemic, right?
The Dallas
You're going
harvesting.
to do
Yeah.
any level of corruption. But if I were to look at it and say, how could it happen? How could the independents change and go towards Biden? That was, if you think about it, a very, very difficult time period for a lot of people. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know who to blame.
They didn't know what to expect.
They didn't know what to expect. You didn't know, there are people who were like, will I live or will I die? Like that was, people think a different way when that's kind of the situation. That is not the case right now. This is like very easy to clearly figure out what's best for your family. It's not involved with a pandemic. And I think that's where Trump's going to have an advantage, right? Because they were in there for 3.5 years and did absolutely nothing but create chaos. And that, like Mia, who voted for Trump in the second one too, said, hey, listen, Trump was the one that green lighted the vaccines. Okay, I didn't get the vaccine. I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But he green lighted that. Like he was the one who pushed that through. Okay, whether you like I love how Biden wants to take claim for those kind of things. It was Trump who pushed that thing through. Now, I would never have taken that. I don't care if Trump told me to take it or Biden or whoever it is. I wasn't taking that thing. But a lot of people felt that was helpful, but Biden took claims for that. Biden, was like saying that Trump it was Trump that pushed that stuff through. Trump actually got a lot of aid for a lot of people in situations there. So I think that now with everyone able to think a lot clearer, the independents have an opportunity to really think, what is truly best for my family? And think that that's where Trump has the best chance to do a lot better than last time. I think that's where he lost a lot. Frank's always correct on this. Obviously, people who are entrenched are entrenched, right? But it is that small percentage, and it depends on where that percentage is, where some of these places were so close, obviously Georgia is different than anything else because I really do believe that, in the middle of the night, they went in there and Pennsylvania, I felt like that was what went on. But last time, Pennsylvania was won by the Democrats by 81,000 votes.
Yeah.
Georgia was won by the Democrats last time by less than 12,000 votes.
And wasn't Arizona close too?
Arizona was won by less than 11,000 votes, 10,500.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, there's 22,000 people that actually made the difference in the whole entire
election. Wow.
22,000 people out of 155 million voters. It came down to 22,000 people. That's mind-blowing.
No, it is 100%. And I agree with you about Maria because she was thinking about her family. She owns a business. She does her wealth management. Now she's coaching. She has 2 kids. She just bought a house. She's putting renovations onto a restaurant. So she thought with her head and not as much with her heart. And I talked with her right after she had voted. And I do think that you obviously spread your knowledge onto her because I think it made a difference.
Yeah, and
I don't know if she was undecided, but
she
I
may
think
have
it made
already
a
been
difference.
leaning. She may have already been leaning, but
Yeah.
I think that you know what it is like at different times of your life, you're prioritizing different things.
100%.
So there are young people are going to prioritize. Frank's son's going to prioritize certain things at this time at 18 that he's not going to prioritize in 20 years when he has 2 kids and a wife.
Exactly.
So next time Frank's gonna have to block him from voting and take his car keys. But
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Not mentally developed yet, Dave. I apologize. 18 is just it's a scratch on the surface of life.
Oh, absolutely. But actually, it's great that it's really, and I'm joking, but it's actually important that he does vote because he
Absolutely.
needs to see now. He'll see whatever happens in the election. He'll
How it
see what
affects-
happens. He's actually vested to see what happens, whether his
Yeah.
candidate wins or loses.
Right.
He's going to see what happens, and that's going to shape how he starts to vote when he's now 22, older, still probably more liberal as most people are at that age, and but then he starts to think, I'm going to be getting a job soon. How do I think about these things? And then he'll see what happens after that vote. And then at 26, where he's kind of then, okay, how am I thinking about this election, right?
You're
And
right.
I
Yeah.
changed the same way. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. When I was 18, I thought about certain things. 22, I mean, I was a Clinton guy. I love Clinton. I thought
You're
he was
100%
cool.
right. Yeah.
I thought Clinton was cool. And
Yep.
and believe me, I was raised a Democrat, but everybody voted for Reagan.
Yeah.
Even though everybody was Democrats, they voted for Reagan. Like Reagan was a tremendous candidate. If they didn't vote the first time, they 100% voted. He won a landslide the second time. Everyone voted for him that second time. But yeah, like you see how those things go. I look back, like things that I thought about Clinton back then that I thought were great. Like I look 20 years later and I say, some of those policies now were not as good. Some of the things he did were good. And you know what's funny? Clinton, like I know he's out there, pandering for Kamala, but thanks to Steve, I got it right. Because if it was for Steve, I'd still be calling her whatever I call her. But yeah, Clinton was actually pretty good for small business back then.
He was. He was considered one of the top presidents of our generation.
He wasn't. He was really firm on immigration.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, he also enjoyed having a lady in the White House, but
Nothing wrong with that.
He made sure he had those small towels next to his
Yeah.
just
The blue dress. Yeah. The cigar.
I mean, poor Hillary, she came in there. She said, Bill, why do you have a stack of small towels?
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd that cigar come from? Yeah.
Dave,
Yeah.
I make more money. I don't care who he has in the White House.
That's right.
Just keep it coming.
That's right.
Literally.
That's really all
Keep
it
it
comes down
coming.
to. That's really
I
all it
don't
comes
care if
down
he's
to.
wearing underwear and a suit on top when he does the press conferences. You remember what's the guy? I don't know if he still does football anymore. You remember the guy who was like a big like analyst for football? He was a nerdy looking guy, and he had like a ponytail in the back. And they used to always joke that he did his stuff. He had the suit on, and then underneath he just had his like underwear. You remember that guy?
No, I don't. Was it Fox or?
It was a Monday. Oh God, I can't remember his name.
Oh, are you thinking of the comedian?
No. He used to do.
Okay.
He used to do like they would go to the studio, not the studio, but they would cut to him, and basically it turned out that he usually would have a suit top, and like
okay.
It looked like he had short hair, but he had a ponytail that was all the way tight back, so you couldn't.
He had a
see
man
it.
bun. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had he
know.
would sit in his underwear and do it, which I thought was funny.
Genius.
I will have to find out for sure for that one. That's hilarious.
759 live viewers now.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Climbing.
Of
Boy,
course.
People
When
must
you
have-
entertain, and that's what I live for. I live to entertain. Nobody entertains like I do. I am high entertainment value. Until they realize that
You're a blind juggler.
I am not a blind juggler. I can juggle. I can teabag. I can do it all.
I know you could teabag. You were part of that gang in
Teabag
prison.
and rusty trombones. I'll do it all.
Yep.
Cleveland Steamers, whatever you need.
Remember, OnlyFans.
Oh,
I do not have an
It's
OnlyFans.
amazing how popular your OnlyFans is.
Ravishing,
got my only-
Ravishing Steve 69.
You can't you can't take that name. That's someone else's name. I have to have my own name.
You know what was shocking about your OnlyFans? It was shocking that the first thing that guys, when they came across the border and when they settled in their new areas, part of their incentive package was
A free OnlyFans account? The gangs in Aurora, Colorado? The gangs,
_60.
the gangs in Aurora,
They gave him
Colorado
that
got to
they
hook
got?
up with Steve on the OnlyFans?
Picture
Oh my God.
when they arrested them for terrorizing everybody, they all had a picture in the back.
Yeah.
The 40,000 Haitians brought into Springfield, Ohio got to hook up with Steve, Ravishing Steve 69 on OnlyFans?
I don't want to be ravishing Steve 69. My number was
The
79 at
Haitians
least.
behind, the kitty litter where you have the litter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Above the kitty litter, they had a picture with a barcode, so everyone could, before they ate the cats.
Right. Ravishing Steve
Oh,
69.
Oh God, I can't take this.
Ravishing Steve 69. I mean, it was.
Welcome to Chicago. You get a free hotel
Glorilla
room.
gave you a shout out. I think Glorilla gave you a shout
Lorilla.
out.
Glorilla's
Glorilla's hot. I like her.
Welcome to
Glorilla.
Chicago.
Oh, she's hot.
She's hot. Yeah.
Oh,
You
oh,
get it.
oh, yeah. Oh no,
I
you
was
know that.
shocked. I was
Oh,
absolutely
you didn't
shocked.
know that?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't know she was
She's
hot.
a famous rapper. She's hot.
Yeah, she's hot. I
So
take.
was her partner in crime, Sexy Red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
in
have to-
touch. I'm in touch with the. I'm like.
Well, I know you're with pop culture. You got it all going. on.
Free hotel room for 6 months. You get an EBT card for 10 grand and a 1-year subscription to Steve's OnlyFans
Yeah.
account.
Okay.
You could use the. They gave him a swipe card with Steve's face on it.
Well, I have to say this has been another
Don't leave home without it.
riveting episode of Rebel Republic as we give you the election update. Donald J. Trump is up 195 to Kamala Harris, the communist, 117. She's a communist for president.
Yeah.
And we want Trump to win, and we'll see how the night plays out. So this has been a wonderful experience. I'll go home and check my OnlyFans account and see where I'm at.
I think you made a
got
lot of
some
money tonight.
subscribers. Yeah, maybe I got some subscribers. Dave, I'm so excited. I'll get to see you in the morning. We got Joe D tomorrow morning. Joe D for Husky Hoops. That's going to be fun. We got that at 11:30, and the voice of reason, Frank, is going to be on a plane going to the Dominican Republic.
This episode has wiped me out.
Well,
I can't do anymore.
This episode flew by.
Yeah.
It flew by.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It was.
Are you leaving
Might be our
tomorrow?
biggest episode of the year.
Oh, it will be. It will be for sure.
Thursday morning.
Okay.
I'll be in the air.
Georgia,
hopefully.
80% in before you go. 80%
Yes.
in. Trump has now expanded his lead to 215,000. He's
Am
expanded.
I allowed? So I'm not allowed to come over tomorrow. You said
You are
So-
banned from the
Okay.
premises from the grounds.
No
for at
food
least
or
a week.
anything?
No food. There's
Okay.
no. This isn't a charity handout. There's no
okay.
illegal gravy train here
Okay.
for you to nosh up.
Oh, and Dave, if you get a chance, I did the Andre Dixon interview. I thought that was okay.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
And
big fan.
and
He's a great
Julius
player.
Williams, and I don't know if you intended to. Did you gave me access to Opus? Okay.
Did
Well, yes. because I was going to sign up for an account and I already had one through you.
Okay.
So I know you pay for it, so I'll give you some money for it. I know it's a yearly thing, right?
I don't know if I do it yearly or monthly. I don't.
Okay. I just wanted to
I think I do pay it probably yearly.
okay, because I did use it to do some shorts.
Sounds
that
like
I sent you.
sounds like the cake on my counter. Hey, did
No.
you eat the cake? I don't know.
I admitted to it. I told him because I went to get the Opus and I had an account.
Opus
and-
is a wine.
No, they do shorts, and he listed me, so
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure
Okay.
to let him know,
All right.
so
It's
he
easy to
knows.
use, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. It made some great clips. I emailed a couple of the good ones to you to take a look at. So I just wanted to let you know. And
Are those the ones you're cutting on your OnlyFans account?
no, they're not going to be on my
30-second
OnlyFans
clips.
account. So I just wanted to let you know because
If you do have an OnlyFans account, Steve,
I do
you should do the Joe Namath pose from back in the day when he had the.
with the pantyhose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that, and
I think that would be a winner.
I'll tuck.
I-
I'll tuck.
Please.
I'll tuck like the guy from
Actually,
Silence
you
of
hold
the
a
Lambs,
piece of cake. Hold a piece of cake. One
please,
hand.
and then tuck. Like the guy from Buffalo Bill from Silence and the Lambs.
Yeah.
Oh, God, great movie.
He tucks. Yeah, I love it when he tucks. It's great.
Tuck and
It's great.
dance.
That's great. All right.
That
So
movie freaked me out, dude. Of the first time I saw it.
yeah, it freaked me out too. And then the Red Dragon did too. I didn't like the Red Dragon. So for Coach Schumann, the next big influencer, the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano,
Get me out of here.
best podcast radio host in the universe, Steve Cully. This has been the Rebel Republic, and tomorrow we are going to wake up with Donald J. Trump as our president, or else.